Welcome to another edition of On Point, Arlington Million edition. Vance Hansen alongside James Scully, and James. Saratoga and Del Mar, of course, are running, but this is the Saturday every August where a lot of our attention turns to Arlington Million Day. Great turf races all afternoon, and Mother Nature is going to throw a little curveball into this equation. Chicago currently getting hit with maybe 1 to 2 inches of rain today. Just like last year when it came up really soft and boggy, there's a chance we have an off track or off course tomorrow for the Million.
Yeah, and it seems like rain's in the forecast like every year here recently. It hasn't necessarily been as soft, every year, but there's been a chance of rain, and it looks like it's definitely coming, like you said, on Friday, as well as possibly tomorrow. So, that could favor the international horses. I mean, obviously there's some Americans as well that have run well too. But yeah, I'll echo your comments. The Arlington Million and the International Festival Racing, it still has, to me, it still has a great place on the calendar because of its international appeal. All 4 of the graded stakes that are turf races have international shippers. It's so those trainers and conditioners overseas are still looking at it as a viable spot, even if they're sending their 3rd or 4th stringers. It's a chance as well to get a taste for a feel for North American soil before the Breeders' Cup.
Yep. For me personally, I don't think the course conditions, whether they're wet or drying out, aren't going to affect my top selections too much. In the Million, we've got some trio of really good Europeans coming over. We have Mondialiste, who won the Woodbine Mile last year in this continent, finished 2nd to Tepin in the Breeders' Cup Mile. He's back, stretching out to 1.25 miles. We have the 3-year-old Deauville, who just came off a victory in the Belmont Derby. 3-year-olds don't really have a major history of running in the Million, with the Secretariat being run on the same card. And we have a couple of other European possibilities in this race. Looking at it broadly, do you think this race, or are you favoring a European over a domestic horse?
I am in the Million. Really, I think the top 2 U.S. horses in the Million are World Approval, comes off a win in the UN for the Mark Cassidy, and Wake Forest, who's a Chad Brown trained horse that comes off a win in the Man of War, I guess.
And he was 3rd in the United Nations last time.
Third in the United Nations, and he won a race before that, I think the Bowling Green or something. But he's doing pretty well right now, and the defending champion, the Pizza Man's in there. Now he needs to find some form. He's been unplaced in all 3 starts this year, but he ran a little better last time, so perhaps he's turning things around. But I favor the Euros in that. Mondialiste is probably going to be my top selection in there, but I do give Trister, and even Ed wrote a blog today, Ed Rosa did, picking Decorated Knight, so I respect his chances a little bit, and I'm definitely leaning that way in that race.
Yeah, Trister and Mondialiste, I think, are 2 very major contenders in this race. And I kind of like Wake Forest in this. He ran in the United Nations at Monmouth last time, kind of a tighter turf course compared to what he was running at Belmont previously. I think he's kind of a long galloping type horse. I think he's going to enjoy the more expansive Arlington track tomorrow. He ran 6th in the Million last year, first race in the United States coming from Germany. I think now that he's been here for over a year with trainer Chad Brown, I think he's settled in nicely, and I think he can probably turn the tables on tomorrow in the Million.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, and we now go to the Beverly D, the top race for fillies and mares. Sica Lizzie, unlucky to finish 2nd in the Sheepshead Bay last time after winning the New York very convincingly. Looking to give owner Martin Schwartz a 5th Beverly D, if I'm not mistaken, or 4th or 5th, one of those. Sica Lizzie facing a pretty good challenge from Aidan O'Brien's 3-year-old fillies, Ballydoyle and Coolmore. 3-year-old fillies don't have a great history in this race. I think we just had a first 3-year-old filly winner a couple of years ago from Team Valor. I give the edge to the older fillies and mares here.
Yeah, I do too. I think Sica Lizzie, I mean, she's 7 to 5 on the morning line. She has an outside post, but I don't think it's really it's not a concern for me, the draw. And I think she's the most likely winner in this sequence. If I'm looking to build pick 4 tickets, I could see singling Sica Lizzie, spreading deep in the other legs, then maybe coming in and playing like one backup ticket where perhaps I use a couple. That Fafler for Grand Motion looks sort of decent to me, and there's a filly on the far outside, Pretty Girl, I think, from Dels Angles, who's had some success shipping to the U.S. before. So I sort of took a look at them, like, as possible weight contenders if Sica Lizzie falters. But I agree, she's the most likely winner in that field.
Yeah, then there, a minor long shot I kind of like, and there's Tuta Paisi from the Valor Ladies stable. I think she won the Santa Ana at Santa Anita, her first group win a couple months ago, and last time she kind of got caught behind a speed horse at Philadelphia Park in the James Penny Memorial. I think she can improve with distance tomorrow, so hopefully catch her in the exotics. The Secretariat Stakes for 3-year-olds, Long Island Sound goes for Aidan O'Brien, who's looking for his 3rd straight win in this race.
Right.
I kind of like American Patriot in here. I think he's improved a lot with blinkers, and those are the 2 I kind of fancy in that race.
Absolutely, I agree with your American Patriot. I'm very keen on him. I think he has improving form, and he's the 3rd choice in the morning line, and I'd love to see that materialize. Actually, in the betting for tomorrow. The other horse as well is Beach Patrol. Long Island Sound was the favorite in the Belmont Derby, wound up being a close 6. Beach Patrol rallied for 3rd in there for Chad Brown. They're both very formidable on paper, but I do give the edge to American Patriot. I liked his win in the Ken at Delaware, and I think he can carry that form forward.
Yeah, that was a course record performance at Delaware. The last of the 4 international festival races is the American St. Ledger. Now, a lot of people are thinking this is the race to single, the Big Hoss. It looks very imposing in this race, although there is a European shipper who I kind of like here. I think he's already 9 years old, so he's been through the mill quite a bit. His name is Clondaw Warrior. He's been running a lot in hurdle races overseas, but he's also proven going long distances of ground on the flat. In fact, he was a very close 2nd last summer in the Yorkshire Cup during the prestigious Ebor meeting at York. So I give him an outside possibility of upending to Big Hoss. What do you think?
I agree with you. I like the Clondaw Warrior. I think he's got the class, the challenge for sure. And I even looked at Billabong a little bit. I mean, obviously you'd have to use the Big Hoss on any wagers off that 2-mile win at Belmont. But that's the way I was looking at it, is the Euros might be a little overlooked in the betting, and they could be potentially live in the St. Ledger.
Should be a wonderful afternoon of racing at Arlington tomorrow. We got that, of course, like as usual, Saratoga and Del Mar, great features there as well. Please stay tuned to the Twin Spires blog and to the Twin Spires Twitter page. Ed DeRosa is on site for Million Day tomorrow. He's been there for a couple of days actually and providing some great material. So keep it tuned to the blog and Twitter, and good luck to everyone on Million Day tomorrow.